I swear I've hit go live twice now, so hopefully there's nothing wrong. I think we're live now. Let's see if we can manage the live chat. You must be live in order to share chat.
Okay, so I had an excellent idea for a game that we could warm up on, just not today because I don't have it prepped. I
Sure.
thought about this, and I wanted to run it by you guys if you think this would be kind of fun.
Sharing chat.
It would, Dan, it would amount to a series of shorts or like a 9-minute video.
Okay.
It would be three guys, 3 movies, 3 reviews. And what we would do is I would show, I don't know, we got to set it up. I'll have some pictures. So each of us can do this. Dan, yours would have to be blind. You wouldn't know what the pictures are. You could do it for us. We wouldn't know. But the pictures pop up, kind of like what you've been doing with like a screenshot of a movie.
Okay.
And we wouldn't necessarily know what it is. Like if we recognize the movie, then we can give it a quick 60-second review. That movie's great, whatever. But if we don't know what the movie is, we have to pretend like we do and make up a name and everything and a full 60-second review for this made up movie. And we got to pick a really obscure like screenshots so that we all the movies we don't know what they are.
But they are real movies.
Real movies, sure. But we would just not maybe know the movie and we'd have to make up a review for it on the fly and pretend like we know what we're talking about. And then you could reveal what the movie really is. Something along those lines. I was thinking like we could each do like 3 movies in a row and just rapid fire get through all 3 reviews real quick. And you could do, so I don't know, something like that. We work out the details later, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to make basically like a fake movie review and just lie out of our ass and pretend like we know what we're talking about.
We could get Discord or Patreon to come up with those 9 clips. And then if I'm not the one coming up with them, like I could put them on Restream. And even if we did them randomly, like you draw like 3 numbers kind of a thing, and those are the 3 you get. Mm-hmm. Assuming like unless you want was part of it that you would pick something specific for me or just the fact that I wouldn't know what
really
it is?
the cool part would be when we don't know what that movie is and we have to make something up. If we know what the movie is, then you can land it. But like that's why it'd be kind of cool to do like 3 for each of us, because then you'll probably get 1 hopefully get 2 you don't, and have to just make bullshit reviews up. I thought it'd be kind of fun. Doesn't have to be 3 whole movies. That's 3 minutes each, or it could be just 1 or whatever. But you get the gist of the idea anyway.
I think that sounds fun.
All right, we'll have to work on that.
Figure out the logistics, but I think that sounds fun.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will?
I'm down to clown.
Excellent. I was hoping it would be. I apologize to everybody for being so incredibly late, by the way.
You bastard.
I know. I had to make you play a video game.
How dare you force me to play video games with my friends?
Oh, you're the worst. I'm the worst. All right. I'm surprised you weren't playing Arc Raiders, to be honest.
I've been arcing it up a bunch. I got 5 different games going at the same time, so I'm trying to keep all of them in rotation here.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough.
Will, I haven't got to see the video yet, but people are already talking about your YouTube video about like surveying questions in Arc. People are already telling me it's awesome, and I got to go watch it. So I'm gonna check that out after stream today.
Nice.
Well, yeah, go for it. I need any views I can get. Yeah, man.
All right. Sorry, just getting caught up a little bit behind the scenes, but it should be good to go any second.
Oh, and Dan, I am probably going to try and watch Kill Bill in the watch party this Sunday.
Nice.
After my Cyberpunk stream, so it'll probably be somewhere around like 7 Central, like 8 o'clock your time if I can wrap things up.
Significantly more doable. I can probably.
Yeah, it was super late last time, so.
Yeah, you were like, let's do it at this time. I'm like, that sounds good. I'm like, wait a second. that's not my time. But all right, Christmas Chronicles. We can copy this. So one of the things I'm doing this year, and it's not like a big deal, but I'm just going to throw it out there just so everybody knows. Historically, when making these videos for YouTube, I have been clipping in chunks of the movie into it.
Yeah.
And if I'm being perfectly honest, it is way too labor and time intensive for the amount of views that these are getting on YouTube.
Mhm.
Right.
So I wasn't able to do that with obviously Fire and Ash, because it's still in theaters, and Netflix is notoriously anti YouTube, because obviously they're the direct competitor. So Christmas Chronicles being a Netflix exclusive, I just didn't want to run into the issues that I did with Beverly Hills Cop,
Yeah, Beverly Hills.
Axel Foley, where I had to like trim sections over and over and over again. It just wasn't worth it. So after doing 3 movies in a row where I didn't bother putting those the extra clips into it, I think that's the way it's going to be for the next little while. Partially because it saves me hours on the weekend,
Mhm.
and I'll be able to get the videos out a little bit faster. No, that's really just the only reason. It's just the amount of time that it takes versus the amount of views that these things get. It's just not. I don't want to say it's not worth the effort, because I do want to put out the best product that I can, but 5 hours every Sunday is a lot to ask, and it's just going to be one of those things. So I noticed that when I put out Christmas Chronicles, there was somebody who was like, "Oh my god, it's finally here! I've been waiting for this one." Awesome. That made me feel really good, but also kind of like, oh crap, like if people actually are waiting for these, that's really cool. But at some point I have to be realistic with myself and just be like, it's not worth missing this much life and this much time with my family to make them the way that they are.
Uh-huh.
So for now, at least, I'm going to just have to step back a little bit, and I'll still edit them. I'll still get them out on time. You can still listen to them. You can still watch us hang out, but it'll be basically this, but shorter, like cutting out the ums and the ahs and the dead air and the whatnot.
Just trimmed up.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make that little announcement right off the top, just so people know what to look for going forward. That being said, with the exception of the Patreon picks, I am completely caught up on our rating, which feels great, at least in YouTube form. I still have a long way to go with the podcast. So I'm hoping like this episode will be live on YouTube on Monday is the dream. And then just from then on, we can just continue that ball rolling, where it'll come out live on Thursday. You can come hang out with us here on Twitch with Brian or I. And then on Monday, it'll be live on YouTube and we'll be good to go. So just wanted to make that little announcement, get that out there so people, if people care, they know. Keep people in the know. Oh, shoot, I have more stuff to do graphically behind the scenes. Sorry. We can delete that, and that. We had a couple of new people to the Patreon. Well, one new person to the Patreon and one step up in the Patreon. So you need to change some graphics around behind the scenes. I do apologize. It'll just take me, I don't know, 30 seconds. That's a lie. 2 minutes. Have you guys seen anything else this week other than Kill Bill?
Yes. I went to my first movie of the year.
Ooh, what'd you see?
Zootopia 2.
Is it as good as people say?
It's fun. Yeah, it's good. It's
Nice.
well done. Yeah, I mean, we watched the first one, a rewatch just to, get refamiliarized, and yeah, it clicks along. They have some fun inside jokes for like movie references and things like that. It's good.
Very nice.
What do you think? The pussy wagon or the poster?
Well, the poster's going to be right beside you. So
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, it's kind of thinking I might go with a ride.
All right. Also, yes, I should also mention, I was talking to Mark, the owner of Radique Audio, and he's got 2 sponsors going currently, one with myself and one with Habs Digest, which is I don't 100% know, but something to do with the Montreal Canadiens and their fan base. He's based in Ottawa, so Montreal's pretty close nearby. I mean, relatively. And he's saying that traffic on their website has been up significantly, so he's actually pretty happy with the way things are going, which is awesome. But one of the issues they've been running into is shipping for the RA Twin 2 is a little higher than they would like. So they found a new option where they can ship it anywhere in Canada for just $5, which is way better than it was before.
Oh, nice.
And to celebrate what they're doing, because it is a vintage audio shop, you can use Mongooly to get $10 off the Twin 2. That's been the deal since November or whatever, and that's going to continue on until I think he said sort of like the first quarter, so probably like end of February. But also because they sell vintage stereo equipment, there is a code you can now use, Winter 10, and you can get 10% off of receivers. I think it is audio receivers, which for some vintage stereos, like those can be fairly expensive. So 10% off could be pretty hefty if anybody is out there looking for that kind of a thing. I am not personally into vintage stereo equipment, but for those who are, it is a growing market. A lot of people, a lot of young people are getting into like vinyl
Retro,
and whatnot.
yeah, vinyl,
so
yeah.
if you're looking to bolster your
Nice.
collection,
Nice.
worth checking it out. You can hit !audio if you're over here on the Mongoli Show, and it'll bring up the link. You can check out Radique Audio. They are still sponsoring this podcast for the next little while. So yeah, I'll talk about that again probably close to the end of the episode and bring up the RH-Win 2 for a minute. But you guys get to get into this? I know we're super duper late.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, as ready as I'm ever gonna be.
Sounds good. Is that still Sound of Music? Why is that still Sound of Music? 1 second.
Because the hills are alive.
No, the hills are dead.
Wow.
With this amount of blood, the hills are dead.
The blood only.
I have lots of questions about the directorial choices in this film, and I think you guys have good answers for me. I think I know some of them, but I'm gonna be asking you guys a lot of questions because I know you guys did way more research on this than I did.
God,
And,
I wish that was true.
Yeah, I don't know. if that's true.
Windstorm told me that the whole bloody affair had they actually split the movie into 2 parts and added some scenes for continuity, and that the whole bloody affair is its original version, but he can't find it anywhere but like the theatrical release right now. But if we do get the opportunity to do a watch party with the whole bloody affair, I'd like to try and do that.
That'd be cool. It is like it just came out in theaters, so it's very possible that if it's sticking to a
Okay.
regular release schedule, it'll be like
it'll be a couple months.
February
then.
and it'll
Alright.
come out kind of a thing. Windstorm, you actually upload these podcasts to Spotify? Yes, I upload these to. You can !podcast bring you to the website, and you can find it on most podcast dealers, including like Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and a bunch of other little ones. So depending on what you're looking for, you can go check that out. I've only got like the first 15 episodes or so up currently, but I do plan on cutting away a chunk of time and just trying to get a bunch of them out there so we can have most, if not all of them. Ideally, again, now that I'm caught up on YouTube, I'd love to get to the point where we can be caught up on Spotify, and on Monday we just drop everywhere. That would be the dream. That's what we're working towards. But, life keeps happening. And sadly, this isn't paying the bills yet. So yet, like it will. All right.
Yeah, but it's fun as shit though.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I've been looking forward to this all day, despite it being a very long day and it's going to be a short night, but I'm here for it. All right.
Alrighty then. Kill Bill Volume 1, 2003. After a 4-year coma, the bride, a ruthless assassin, wakes up to seek revenge on those who put her in said coma. It turns out to be one of 2 bloody affairs.
Sorry, I like to leave you on for an extra second there, but also sometimes
I
it's a
know.
little hard to tell when you're about to. Like sometimes you build towards something, and sometimes you just stop speaking. You're like, oh, okay, never mind, we're done.
It's all good.
Windstorm raises a good point. I need to synchronize our chat commands for everything that's R rating so that whether they're in your stream or mine, they can use the same chat command to get the access. Well, that's something we'll have to take care of later, but we'll have to
There
do that.
was, I think, !movies works in your chat, so they can at least find the YouTube channel.
Yes. Yeah. ! movies.
So I just did ! podcast. If you check that link out, it should take you to the hub, and the hub will give you like every place that we send podcasts to, so you can kind of find your niche from there. Feel free, like if you're on Spotify, give it a follow. If you feel like giving it 4, 5, 6 stars, well, that's not true. You can't even do 6 stars, but like however many stars you feel like we're worth, that'd be amazing. The more ratings we get, the more likely other people are to find it. So anyway, sorry, let's talk about this movie while we're here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to R Rating, the show where I get together with 2 of my friends. We take a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give it an overall score, and throw it back up on the board to see where it lands compared to the other movie franchises. As always, I'm joined by Will and Brian as we talk about Kill Bill Volume 1. Brian, how are you doing this week?
I'm great, Dan. How are you doing?
I am... you know what? I'm actually not great, but I am looking forward to tonight's episode. I watched this movie fairly recently, and I'm excited to talk about it. How are you doing, Will?
I'm doing A-okay. I'm always excited to talk about movies with you two.
Excellent. Brian, you did a little watch party on this one the other day. Did you how did you find it? Do you enjoy watching this with people, or?
Yeah, it was such a late watch party that it was just like me and Siffy Shane and Hillary, and just loved it. I mean, it was. In fact, Siffy Shane had some issues trying to get into the watch party, and I was like, I didn't want to stop watching the movie to help him out. We got it figured out, but it was. I just really enjoy watching this movie. I must have seen this thing probably a dozen times already. So, it never tires. When this thing pops up and I see it someplace, I'll stop and at least give it a 15-minute look. There some of those movies they just deserve a little bit of your time when they come across your screen.
That's a good point. I usually ask that. Obviously, you said you've seen this multiple times. It's not your first time to it. Will, is this your first time watching Kill Bill, or have you seen this one before?
I want to say it's my third or fourth time seeing this movie. I haven't seen it a lot, but every time I see it, I see it.
Those glasses are working. Love to hear it. Yeah, this is one I did not see in the theaters, but I definitely remember watching it in college, like back when it first came out on Blu-ray or on DVD or whatever the medium was at the time. And I remember kind of being blown away by it. Like I remember really enjoying it at the time, watching it a bunch back when back around that time, like kind of college. Like this came out in 2003, so probably in like the 2004 to 2008 range. And then I might not have seen it between then and now. I think my wife and I watched like half of it at one point in like 2015, 2016, and just ran out of time or something, weren't really getting into it. So I actually wasn't super looking forward to it this time. And I got to say, this movie flew by. Like watching it the other night by myself, like the runtime, maybe it's also because we've been watching a lot of 3-hour movies recently, like between Christmas classics and Avatar and Sound of Music. Like we've been watching some long / bad movies. So maybe that was a chunk of it, but this one flew by. Will, Brian, sorry, you're agreeing with me on that one.
Yeah,
Will,
absolutely.
This?
Yeah, I mean, I think the movie itself, I mean, we'll get right into it. I think there is some pacing issues in this movie. But that said, every scene in this movie is very appealing. It's very stylized and it draws you in. So it's easy to fall into this movie and let it just take you away.
Nice. Sorry, Brian, I cut you off twice.
Explain the pacing issue that you have with this, Will, because I kind of agree. Like it has like these set pieces, and each piece is so phenomenal. But it's like a hard stop in between different scenes. And so some are real slow and some are 30 minutes of chopping people up. Like, and then you throw in the music on top of it too, and we'll get to that. But what do you mean when you say the pacing issues?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what you're saying there, as well as the fact I think, and I might have to take this back when I see it. I haven't seen the whole bloody affair yet, but originally this was a one movie. The studio forced it to be cut into 2 releases. And so I think if you watch this movie in its entirety, the pacing would feel cleaner. No pun intended. But yeah, I also think this is like Quentin Tarantino at his most indulgent. And so there are like a lot of scenes that are, he's not just paying homage to other movies. He's maybe ripping them directly, but he just goes so over the top with them that it maybe could be scaled back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm fully going to admit I am not well versed in a lot of the movies that he is ripping off in this, as you call it, or as he's homaging to. The genres he's referring to are not ones that I grew up with. Right. But at the same time, while watching this, you can kind of like pick and choose and kind of be like, okay, the reason he's doing this must be because it's related to something. Most of this movie, I think, looks phenomenal. I think the cinematography in it is really, really strong. And then you get like the airplane scene and it looks horrendous. But again, it's stylized bad. So I feel like he is purposefully throwing to something else or purposefully like making it look like something he remembers growing up with. I'm not sure what the reference is, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if either of you have an idea, but does that make sense? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember the airplane scene you're speaking of specifically.
When she flies to Tokyo and it's like orange screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't notice it.
In the plane, when she's actually in the plane.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple when she's like flying in the plane to either Japan or wherever else.
Oh, and she's got her sword leaned up against the wall inside the plane. Okay, yeah, and it does look a little weird. It looks like she is on a soundstage, not in a plane at all. Yeah. But it definitely felt like that was a decision. It wasn't like they accidentally screwed it up. It was 100%. That was how it's supposed to be. Everything in this movie is like that. It's 100%. That's how it's supposed to be. And I have fun with every one of these different set pieces. Every one of these different scenes is its own. Like you could watch these in a series of shorts on YouTube. Every little section is all by itself and amazing.
And I mean, they break it up by chapter, right?
Yeah. And I'm curious, what is your favorite scene, Dan, in this movie? Like, is there one that specifically you remember and is like your favorite? For me, it's the sword. It's the swordsmith in Okinawa gifting her the sword after he makes it. Spends a month making it. That one's just phenomenal.
The scene at the bar is maybe the best individual scene, like her walking in and like not revealing who she is, kind of acting like a ditzy tourist, and then kind of like the slow realization of like, oh, you are not who you say you are, is maybe the best individual scene. But as far as like the acts go, I would have to say probably the origin of Oranishi, like the animated section. I think is just gorgeous. It's so stylized. It's so well done. There is imagery in that is, I don't think iconic is the right word, but just stands out in my brain from like the first time I watched this to now, when the one assassin is standing over, I believe it's her father, and like he just looks monstrously huge and his back is so curved because like from the angle that this small little kid is looking at him, he looks like a monster. The sword sticking through the bed with the blood just slowly soaking in. Like it's such an amazing little scene there, and I really, really like that one. So as far as an act goes, that might be my favorite overall act. But as far as an individual scene, the bar scene is probably my absolute favorite. And it makes sense, right? It's super dialogue heavy. I love dialogue. It just works. What about you, Will?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn. I don't know. It's weird maybe, but I really like the hospital scene. Just because you get to see Uma's pain, and she does it very well when she wakes up and realizes how much time has gone and what she's missing. And just the horrible things that have happened to her over the 4 years is just like gut-wrenching in itself in a whole different way. So I really kind of enjoy that, even though it's super dark and twisted. And I also, much like Dan, I like the dialogue portion of the first kind of knife fight between Black Mamba and, what's the other snake? I can't remember her name. And they have to like stop mid-fight because her daughter's home from school and they don't want to do anything in front of her. I just like really like that pause in action. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, her scene when she wakes up and realizes her baby is gone. That is phenomenal acting in that scene. I think as a counterpoint, when she at the very opening scene, when she goes into that fight with the mother and the daughter comes in, before that happens and they're talking, I thought that was actually the worst acting of Uma Thurman in the movie. I didn't believe it. She didn't sell it. For some reason, it just fell flat for me. Then they get into the fight scene, and I forgot about it. Never thought of it again. And we get into that hospital scene when she wakes up and her baby's gone, and I was like, and the Emmy goes too. Yep. Like, it was just amazing. Completely forgot about the scene. So it was a bit of high and lows for acting, but mostly highs.
I actually think that opening scene with Vivica Fox, not because of Vivica Fox, but that opening scene is maybe one of my least favorite parts in this movie. Yeah. Like, I just don't really like the dialogue between the two of them. I don't really like the fight scene all that much. And I'm not engrossed in the movie enough yet to forgive certain things. Like, you're still kind of getting the pacing and falling into it. I understand why that scene is first, even though it doesn't make sense chronologically. Like, you already see that she's killed Oranishi at the time that she goes after her. But at the same time, the Oranishi scene is such a climax that having that as the first start of the movie, the beginning of the movie, would be awful. Like, keeping that to the very end makes way more sense. Gorgeous scene. But it is a little unfortunate. The first scene you kind of get into just feels a little hokey. Like, it just...
It wasn't a great narrative hook to get you started on this film or give you a taste of what's to come. A lot of times you get that in a film, you get that opening sequence and you're like, oh, this is the pace of the movie. This is what it's going to be about. And that one didn't do a great job of setting it up. So maybe that's something that would be taken into account in the whole bloody affair. But for me, the opening scene was probably the weakest part of this entire movie. Even though I absolutely love after the fight, she has that conversation with the daughter. Like, if you're still sore about this, come find me. Like, amazing little sequence with the daughter there. And from there, the movie just gets better and better.
I remember hearing rumors when this movie first came out that there was going to be a third one once that little girl was old enough, and it would be her going after the bride. I've never heard anything about that since, so I sincerely doubt that's happened because it's been 22 years.
Yeah.
The little daughter's grown up at this point. So I don't think that's going to happen. But like, I remember thinking like, oh, that'd be really interesting if they actually do let her grow up naturally, and then Uma Thurman's older, and we can kind of see what that looks like. But I think that's long dead, and honestly, I'm not really.
You could get Maya Hawke in there now too, right? As her daughter.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So you could be like, oh, you want revenge? Here we are.
Have the daughters fight each other. Why not?
Daughters can go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys, and I don't know if this is going to be fair or not, but I'm going to throw it out there. And I mean, maybe this ruins a future franchise that we're going to talk about. Do you think the existence of John Wick hurts other action movies?
In what way?
I feel like the action in this felt so ridiculous. And I mean, I get that he's going for a stylized choice, but specifically in that opening fight scene, but even a little bit in the Crazy 88 scene, it felt so ridiculous and hokey and unbelievable, despite the fact that everybody in this movie is supposed to be, a human, a normal person. Right. Whereas in John Wick, also ridiculous, especially the further on the franchise you get, but he's acting like he's doing real judo moves. He's doing like assassin things, like double tap, stuff like that. Like
if the guy had the stamina and skill, it's possible that those are able to happen. Where Uma Thurman's kicking Copperhead and she's flying across the room into the wall on, there's pulley systems happening in those fight scenes, jumping up and balancing on balusters. That's just a little bit unbelievable, a little closer to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon action scenes rather than John Wick. No, I don't think that the existence of John Wick hurts this at all. I think it gives us another avenue of stylized choice for fight scenes. I appreciate both of them. I love watching both of them, and I don't have a problem with either of them.
Fair.
I agree. I think Tarantino pulls a lot from the samurai movies, the kung fu movies, and a lot of them, as you said, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, are like stylized martial arts. They're over the top movements. And I think that plays into this movie as well. But that said, I don't think this lives up to the height of those either. I do think the action in this movie is kind of the least effective part. The choreographed movements and things, I think, was the least engaging. And especially because I'm comparing it to other martial arts movies of the past, that this was like, this happened because of them, right? Like, and so I just think it didn't take me out of the movie because all the other things, it's so stylized. You understand where he's coming from and what he's doing. It just, if I had to like pick apart a weakness in this movie, I think it's actually the choreo and the fight scenes.
That's so funny because I'm 100% on board, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be alone on that one. I love a lot of this movie. The fight scenes were not it. Like, they're good. They're still really solid.
Right.
But like, as you mentioned, like if you had to point to like the weak point, it kind of the action for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say weak point, you're talking like an 80 out of 100 as opposed to a 95 out of 100. Yeah. Right. So
no, I'm not saying they're failures or they're bad by any stretch.
But sure. If there's something that needs to be picked up, I'd like to see those fight scenes a little more crisp, a little more believable, even though I like the unbelievable angle. They did feel a little dull. And I feel like he used stylized, artistic cinematography to counterbalance some of this, used a lot of graphic, like gore, like arms getting cut off, blood spraying everywhere, which brings me to a question. And I think that they use that style to kind of as a counterpoint to maybe the lack of choreography happening in here. In the fight scene with the 88, where she pretty much cuts up like 88 dudes. I don't know if there's 88 of them or not, but there's a lot of them, and she cuts them pretty much up. They switch to black and white, like a few minutes into the scene, and then the ends a few minutes coming out of the scene. Is that because of like a rating system? They needed to bring down the gore. There was too much blood.
I was wondering about that myself, actually.
Yeah. So in a lot of, again, a lot of like samurai movies, martial arts movies came to the US. They purposely put them in black and white so that the blood wasn't red. So it minimized the violence shown on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if the movie producers forced him to do that, or if he just chose to do it to, again, make it look like the style of these movies coming to America. I'm not sure. I don't think Tarantino would care about the rating that much, but I just think he chose to do that to, again, pay homage to those classic movies that he grew up watching.
Well,
I think there's also
it's an R rating. It doesn't move it out of that range no matter what. So I'm not sure.
Well, no, you can go harder than R.
You can, yeah.
You can go like NC-18 and stuff like that. Like there is
just on blood and gore.
I don't know. I don't know exactly
what
the ratings
Saw
are.
13 exists. Like,
well, this is before those, but yeah,
that's true.
There is also something to be said about it. Just changes up the visuals of what you're looking at. Like in the age of YouTube, you'll hear a lot of people like, "Oh, you have to change the camera angle, zoom in a little bit, like make it visually interesting for the audience." That is a very long fight scene where she is just dominating the entire time. Changing it to black and white raises questions in your head, changes the look of certain things. And then as soon as the black and white ends, the power goes out, and then you got this blue background. Again, different look. You're seeing something different. So even though it is a very long fight scene that is all pretty similar, like it is, her with a katana versus 88 other guys with various bladed weapons, it does make it three separate images that you're looking at, essentially. So it does fix it up nicely. I think it looks really solid, whether it was a stylistic choice, whether it was the studios telling them to tone it down. I think it works really well for the film either way. Yeah,
I was wondering if there was a version where they don't cut to black and white. That would probably be if they.
I believe I read somewhere that in Asia they didn't have black and white.
Oh. Well, okay. I'd love to see that. I think it would be interesting to see it in full color and see what all that blood looks like when it's spraying around the scene like that.
I mean, you see a lot of blood already, and you already see most of that fight scene in like. I think it's actually more interesting in black and white. Well, to switch it to black and white and then to switch it to the blue background, than just the exact same imagery for 12 minutes.
Does the black and white hide things? Like maybe there's scenes that they recorded in a different sequence, and so there's like more blood on Uma Thurman or more blood on the wall or whatever, and you don't notice the difference, and they can mix and match in the editing room a little bit because it's all black and white, so you don't pick up on that. I'm just wondering, the technical aspects behind the black and white. Me as a video editor, I want to know what's going on with that, and I'm curious, and so it's interesting to me.
That's fair. We're getting people in the comment section saying things like in Japan, it is not censored, and in The Whole Bloody Affair, it is color the entire time. So clearly it is, as much as I like it as a stylistic choice, apparently it was to some level for the censors. So
maybe a more rated based.
I think it's kind of great the way it is. I would personally leave it, but I mean, I'll watch it at least once in full color and see if I change my mind on that. But
I was trying to think of anything that I would change or make a difference to in this film, and I really don't have much of anything I could critique. I'd like a little more crisp fight scenes. That opening sequence is rough. There's really nothing else I'd change about this. I just enjoy the way it's done.
One of the things I would absolutely not change, and Quentin Tarantino proves himself to be the master at this over and over and over again, is all the needle drops in this movie. Like the songs are perfect. They're perfectly placed. They seem to come in and go out exactly when they're supposed to. They're just so cool. Like even when it's just like somebody walking down a hallway, but you have that like thumping bass coming in, you're just like, oh, it's so good. And like all of it, like it's not like Jurassic Park or Star Wars where you're hearing the same theme over and over and over again. Yeah. I don't think you hear the same theme twice ever. It's always different. It's always unique. It always fits the scene. And it's just, dare I say perfect, but it is incredible.
It's actually amazing how he can use a song that you're like, how is this song playing during this fight scene and yet it works, right? Like somebody would tell you that a certain song is going to be played during a fight scene. You're going to be like, that's going to take you out of the film or something. But no, it absolutely fits and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And not even the fight scenes, like the hospital scene where there's just that whistling, like how you make something that happy be that menacing is incredible, right? Like she's walking down the hallway, you know something's wrong here. She starts getting dressed up as the nurse, pulling out what you have to assume is poison or something. And it's just this like, and it's just like, I don't know how you made that so creepy.
Yeah, haunting almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard multiple sources say that Tarantino hand selected all the music in this movie out of his own personal collection. And you can tell a lot of the songs are from other movies, other TV shows. You've got the Green Hornet theme song in there and things like that. So it is really cool to hear some of these songs in a different light, or see them played in a different light with the action and different dark tones that they get forced into. So yeah, I think the music in this is really good, to the point where like I've only seen the movie 3, maybe 4 times, but I know exactly what scene's coming and I know exactly what music's going to play before the previous scene is ended, because it's just like it's so well put together that you just know it's just so well done. It's ingrained in you. Yeah.
Now I don't know if because you're saying it's from Green Hornet or something like that, so like maybe I would do worse at this than I think I would because it is from other movies as well. But I feel like if you're doing a trivia game, you're like, hey, what theme song is this from? What theme song is this from? You can play almost anything in this movie, and I'd be like, oh, Kill Bill. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you might not get the original, but you get it in Kill Bill. Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Something I thought was kind of interesting in this movie is that the movie is called Kill Bill and it released into theaters. We don't get to see Bill. We don't understand why Bill shot her in the head. We don't get to know anything. And for some reason, that doesn't matter. I am still invested in this movie and I want to watch it, and I'm following along and loving every minute of it. It's a really interesting play. What happens is that you finish this movie, you drive away from the movie theater thinking about all the amazing things that you've just witnessed, and then you start going, I can't wait for volume 2 because I want to know more.
Sorry. We can fix that in post. I absolutely agree. Yeah. The movie, so Kill Bill Volume 2 came out 1 year later. I don't remember exactly the release dates, but 2003, then 2004. Again, obviously this was supposed to be one movie originally, so it was all filmed at the same time. And I mean, we'll have to talk about that next week, I guess, see how well Kill Bill Volume 2 does follow this up. But I seem to remember it being incredibly satisfying ends to this. But you're right. You don't see Bill in this one. You don't hear the bride's real name in this one. You don't know why. You know what her motives are. She's obviously going for revenge, but you don't know what Bill's motives were. I don't care. It's not a plot hole. It's not something that's missing. It's not something I needed. I'm along for the ride. The movie is her revenge story, and I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, it's obviously a very simple story of revenge, right? And they set it up. And like they put it into a nice category of, okay, there's these 5 people that did this to her. She's going to go through the list. It's super simple. So you're just along for that ride. And if you're in it, you're in it. And I think that's a Quentin Tarantino thing. If you're into Quentin Tarantino movies, you're in. I think you either love them or you just don't care for them. And this movie is just like pinnacle Quentin Tarantino. It's very simple. You're in or you're out. I fall in the in category. It's a fun ride.
Definitely in.
I will admit, I was really surprised at the very beginning of this movie where it said the 4th Quentin Tarantino movie. And it makes perfect sense. Like I know the 3 that come before this, but just in my brain, this was a little bit further into his catalog than it actually is. It's kind of interesting. Like, I don't think Quentin Tarantino has a miss. But if he does, it's probably Jackie Brown. So to go from arguably his first miss, I like Jackie Brown. But like when people talk about the best Quentin Tarantino movies, that doesn't often come up. right? It's
Really,
usually
I've heard the opposite. I hear a lot of people say Jackie Brown is their favorite Tarantino movie.
that's. I mean, sure, he's only got 9. Everybody has their favorite. I get it,
Sure.
but like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Inglourious Bastards, like these are legit, dare I say, classics. Jackie Brown, and then you get Kill Bill. This movie's phenomenal. Again, I don't know that this one comes up that often as people's like number one favorite, but I don't know. It was surprising to me to be like, oh yeah, this is real, like pretty early on in his career, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did a lot of writing for other movies, but as like a full picture of his own. And I think the studio letting him do, I think this is the first time the studio really was like, okay, do whatever you want. And then he came back with like a 4-hour movie, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to divide this into 2 movies. Maybe don't do whatever you want. But there's
still limits.
And he was working on this with Uma since Pulp Fiction, right? Like they started writing and brainstorming this movie in '94, and you can see the callback even from Pulp Fiction, where she's talking about the pilot for the whatever it is, Fox 5, right? Which are these like badass lady. I think they're good guys in the pilot thing that she's talking about, but very similar character arcs to what you see in this movie, except for they're all villains, right? And so Uma, I believe, was the one who actually thought of the bride character and how she wanted the movie or her character to be like seen at the beginning, bloodied in a bridesmaid or in a wedding dress. And so like that kind of launched where the story went from there. So it's kind of cool. Like this was thought about for a long time, came to fruition with these two. And then I also heard that he was also frantically writing more scenes during filming because he was just like so into it. So it's definitely a project of love and passion, and it shows.
And what amazing opener too, to see her bloodied on the floor and to hear Bill's kind of monologue as he says, "This is me at my most masochistic." And then she starts to say, "The baby's yours," as he shoots her in the head. Just so intense, just incredibly dramatic. And it just instantly, the villain, Bill, is a terribly evil person that you want to know more about. And you don't really get much more, but it just hooks you. So really dark, lots of dark scenes. The hospital scene, especially what she goes through those 4 years. I kind of felt like that guy getting his head slammed in the door
wasn't enough.
He got off easy. He got off so easy. Yeah. So
I'm under the impression he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. That was too easy for what she went through.
That's okay.
You know, and to have Bill say, you know, we're not going to kill this lady. We owe it to this lady to let her live. But if she ever wakes up, she's dead, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's I don't know, man, there's just so much cool stuff to this. Okay, quick question though.
Sorry, 1 second before you move on. I will let you get to that. But before we do, I do want to say that opening scene, the monologue, even just the opening line, I bet you think I'm sadistic, because we're just hearing her ragged breathing like over the credits. We don't even see anything. We finally get a picture of her and she's bloodied up in a wedding dress. I bet you think I'm sadistic. And then he goes on that little monologue and he's like, I'm not sadistic. Like, this is me being masochistic. Basically saying like, me hurting you is hurting me. Like, that could be all you get from Bill for the entire movie. And that would be all you really need.
Yep.
Like, as much as we said the action in this is like the lowest point, again, still very high, but the lowest point. What Quentin Tarantino does so well in all of his movies, this one included, is dialogue and cinematography. And that opening scene is perfect. Like again, the Vivica Fox one that follows, maybe not my favorite, but that opening scene with him or her on the floor, my apologies, and the dialogue over it, you don't see his face. That's what hooks you. That's what makes you like, I have to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead with what you were going to say next.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Oh, I just had a question. Does Quentin Tarantino have a foot scene in every one of his movies? Is it? I mean, I know he's got a foot fetish, but are they in all of his movies?
Almost all of his movies.
I don't know if there's one in Reservoir Dogs, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I completely forgot. She's like, wiggle your big toe. And I was like, oh, it's another foot scene.
Oh, I remember that scene for sure. That one's, I actually, when she was doing the heavy breathing, I almost thought that was the scene that was going to come up. Just the
Oh, yeah.
instant like wiggle your big toe and then kind
Right.
of show how you got there.
Right.
But yeah, like you got to remember, this is the guy who wrote From Dusk Till Dawn, where there's a scene where Selma Hayek is a stripper who pours alcohol down her leg into a guy's mouth and then hired himself to play that guy.
Yeah, smart man.
Like-
Smart man.
I mean, to each their own. No kink shames here.
Yep.
No, it's just funny to mention. Like once you know and you're looking for it, it is
You
in
see it. Yeah,
all
you
of the
see it a
movies,
lot.
and he's not
Yeah.
subtle about it. Like close-ups all the time.
Well, even when she's following the I don't know, assistant to the what's her name, Lucy Liu's character,
Sophie,
right?
or
Yeah, Sophie. Yeah, that's right. And you see her put her foot on the gas, and it's open toe shoes. Like you don't have to see that, but with Quentin, you do. With Quentin,
Yep.
you do.
Shoot, sorry, I thought I had something there.
Do you guys have anything you don't like about this movie? Anything that offended you? Something that was done terribly wrong? I mean, anything. Like I already said what I had a problem with, and it's not even that big of an issue. What are your sticking points here?
So there's nothing that I really dislike about this movie. But the two things that came to mind when you first said that, I have to go into a weird little story here. Aaron Sorkin's one of my favorite writers, creator of The West Wing, wrote movies like Few Good Men, other things. He had one show after The West Wing that only lasted for one season called Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, where it's essentially like behind the scenes of SNL, like Saturday Night Live. During the Thanksgiving episode, they're supposed to do a show called, or a short called Thanksgiving with Quentin Tarantino. And the whole gag of that is going to be that like when they cut the turkey open, it's going to kill Bill all over the place in this like gigantic fountain of blood. You don't see any of this. It's just talked about after the fact, but they're mentioning like the producer, one of the guys who what are they called? The guys who make the props. Will, come on, you're a theater guy. Who makes the props?
Well, I mean, they're usually.
I don't know. Scene
Anyways,
engineers.
one of those guys is like, that's not very realistic. So he makes it bleed like a turkey would bleed. So it's just like a trickle of blood coming down.
Yeah.
And they're like, that was so much more disturbing than it actually was. Like, it's supposed to be this big gag. And instead it's just like, we're just murdering a turkey. I can't watch this movie without thinking of that scene every single time that she like cuts a person's arm open and a fire hose of blood just explodes all over the wall. It's so over the top. It's so stupid. I know that it's a style. He's clearly going for something. It doesn't do it for me personally, with the one exception of, I think it's the animated scene where she kills the guy and the blood flows all over. And so it makes a silhouette of her against the wall.
On the wall. Yeah.
That one I actually like quite a bit. But most of the time when she just like cuts his arm off and there's just a fire hose of blood, I'm just like, it's not for me. It's not like it's too gory. It's just silly. But the other thing is kind of, I was thinking about this kind of like how you said with Avatar, how so many of the humans are just like pure evil. There's a lot of real evil in this movie. Like not quite mustache twirling, but like you had to make the Yakuza boss a pedophile. You had to make the janitor a rapist. You had to make, there's another one that I've blanked on at the moment, but you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like really dark. And I'm just kind of like, okay, that's
the
a
dark
little far from me
part is good, and I enjoy it, but it's hard to watch, and it does make me feel emotionally bad seeing such incredible negative, horrifying stuff. It is hard, but I wouldn't change it. It's part of the film.
agreed.
But it's rough. It's rough.
It makes it so that you're not only not upset when she kills somebody, but you're actually like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Right? Like
Not only that, she was an assassin with all of these people. She's not a good person either, right? You have to remember she's not a good person.
No.
But she got betrayed and, lost her child and all of that by these people. So you have to give that character a reason to root for them. And so having all these more horrible things happen to her allows you to root for her easily in the movie. And I think that's the major reason why. And because her story is so dark, it has to just get really dark.
Yeah.
Before you can turn on that, right? And turn fast. You have to turn fast.
in fairness, you never see anything that I remember in this one or that I remember from the next one. Like, she's an assassin, obviously. You know she does bad things. but you don't really hear about any of the bad things that she did, or you don't really see any of the bad things she did, because you do want her to be your protagonist, despite the fact that she's got a very shady past. I think we have to assume. I don't think you see much of it. I think you see a little bit of her past in the next one, in the training montage, where she goes to Japan, but that's kind of it, if I remember correctly.
Well, and you see when the first fight scene with Vivica Fox, where she doesn't forgive Vivica Fox. She's like, no, this is a revenge movie and I'm going to fucking kill you. And if I have to do it in front of your daughter, I will. I don't want to, but I will. And she does. And she even tells the daughter, she's kind of like, hey, tough luck, kid. You want to come find me? I get that. But this had to happen. Didn't want it to, but it did. And then she just bounces. Like, she really doesn't. Yeah, she's not a good person.
On top of that, she says, hey, this isn't even us being even. Us being even is me killing your husband and your child.
Yeah.
And you. I'm letting you off lightly, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it does show her darker side, but you don't see her go to that darkness because, I don't know, she's still in mourning. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and even then, she doesn't strike first. Like, Vivica Fox gets the jump on her, and it's just a terrible shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to aim it through a cereal box, which I did think.
You're a trained assassin.
She's been out of the biz, I think, though. You know, she's been out of the biz.
So Kill Bill, Uma Thurman's been in a coma for 4 years.
It's a 4-hour movie, Dan. You can't end it 15 minutes in.
Well, it's all chronologically messed up. Just make that the last one. You're good.
That's right, yeah. I do love the Kaboom cereal, though. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I do. It was good.
Yeah, there's a couple things that are on the nose, but in the best possible way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Will, is there anything you would change? Any low points in the film for you? Stuff that bothered you?
I mean, again, I think I mentioned the two little things, and I think the pacing is a little off in this movie. It goes from like slow, very slow, to like some action and slow, and it just feels a little jarring. But that's partly because, as Dan said, it's out of order chronologically for a good reason, because that main fight is the best fight to have at the end. But I think it, again, is the breaking up of this one movie into two parts that makes you feel off at the end of it. And you know, they try to leave it on the cliffhanger. Right? They say that your daughter's not dead, just to make sure you will go to come back for that second movie. But yeah, it feels off to me a little bit. And then a little bit, I felt like the fights throughout just don't quite hold up to maybe what Tarantino wanted to do, whether he's able to accomplish it or not. I think it just kind of feels a little bit low in comparison to the movies he's grown up with and trying to celebrate in this movie.
I think even with looking at his.
Wait for me to stop dancing. All right.
I think even with the way his fight scenes are portrayed and play out, I think maybe at the time they were good enough. They just don't quite hold up as well to what we've seen today. And I don't want to like compare it to John Wick. I'm talking about other movies that do the same stylized fight scenes. They've learned how to do it better than this. Not that these are bad again, but we've seen better.
I disagree, because I think the movies that he is inspired by are better than this.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. Because, you know, one, I mean, they kind of created those genres, and a lot of, you know, those martial arts movies have Bruce Lee, the best martial artist ever, in them. So it's hard to even compare. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like he tried, you know, put Uma in the same yellow jumper as Bruce Lee. Amazing. She looks badass. But obviously her fighting is not going to stand up to his. And it's just hard to accept, like, oh, it's so close. You know, it just doesn't quite get there. But, you know, in some ways it's the thought that counts, because you are paying homage to it, and it is a celebration of those movies.
Well, I mean, Quentin Tarantino is well known for his dialogue, right? Like, that is kind of his number one bread and butter. His cinematography is also excellent. His music is incredible. Like, he does a lot of things in a lot of movies that he does them very, very well. This is the first time he's taken on action to this level. it kind of makes sense that like maybe that would be a little bit weaker. And again, when I say weaker, like 8 out of 10 instead of 9 or 10 out of 10, right? Like it's I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch. Don't take that.
No, we're just trying to pick. We're just trying to pick the little things.
Exactly. Yep. Well, because you have to. There's no big threads to pick at this. There's no like, oh my god, this whole one thing is awful. But anyways, up until now, like his movies, the extent of action that you get is kind of like, you know, the Mexican standoff in Reservoir Dogs, right? Like it's a very short, like bam, 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 and it's over. Yeah. It's not an extended fight scene like you get in this one. So to go from that to this, as well as he does it, I think is still really, really solid. It's not my favorite fight scenes in movies, but it's in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
at least in the last 25 years.
Yeah, it still holds up for, and again, because it's stylized, that goes a long way, because it's taking from these martial arts movies, these samurai movies that are stylized in the same manner. If the main fight with Lucy Liu is like out in the snow, it's like a direct rip from the movie. What's it called? I got it in my notes here. It's too many. There's so many movies. It's like called Lady Snowblood.
Yeah, Lady Snowblood.
1973, and she's like even in a similar outfit. You know, like he is tearing it from the pages of the scripts of these other movies. And it's because that's what he grew up with. And it makes total sense. He just has, like this movie burns its images into my mind, those movies burn their images into his. And so it makes sense. And he's blatantly said many times that he straight out steals things from other movies. And that's what art is. You know, it's always a stealing and reimagining of things you've seen and things that have inspired you, right? And so it's fine. It's great.
What's the saying?
Hard to argue with it.
There's a saying like a good artist will borrow from other artists, a great one will steal outright.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Quentin Tarantino is one of the greats, so makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and that Lady Snowblood scene, what a great line when she insults her and then she says, "Come at me with everything you have," and she's able to slash her on the leg, and they stop and she says, I apologize for my earlier comment. And she's like, "Thank you." And it was like this crazy mutual respect between two assassins that are dead set on murdering each other. It was just such a weird thing for them to do, that to include that into that scene. I loved it. I was just like, wow, what that's that dialogue that just takes that scene to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably my favorite fight scene, if only because it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's a very good attention to detail as well, because being able to cut someone on their back is like an insult to their abilities, right? It's like great shame as a swordsman to allow somebody that opening. So having that in the movie itself is like really cool. And that's why she says, you're a disgrace and all of this. So it's a really cool attention to detail for the historical reasons as well. So it's cool that Quentin Tarantino, he really dives deep into these things and knows his stuff. And then I've heard this. I don't know if it's true. I haven't timed it. Again, I've only seen the movie like 3 times. But she says at the beginning, this won't be longer than 5 minutes and it'll be over. And I'm pretty sure I've heard a lot of people say the whole scene takes 4 minutes and like 59 seconds.
I totally forgot about that, but I feel like you're right. Like I feel like I've also heard that many times.
Mm-hmm. Which is like, if that's true, again, I haven't done it. Maybe I'll go back and time it. That's incredible restraint and commitment and like, again, attention to detail to like get that within the window. It is amazing.
So moving on to Kill Bill Volume 2 next week. Be sure to like and subscribe. What are you hoping to see out of Volume 2? It's been long enough since I've seen Volume 2 that I don't remember it very well. And so I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. I've heard other people say that they liked it better. I've heard other people say that it was a travesty compared to number 1. So, and I don't remember. What are you guys hoping for? What are you expecting? Dan, what do you think?
I couldn't tell you beat for beat what happens in the next movie by any stretch. As I said, it's probably been at least a decade, if not closer to 2. No, a decade probably since I've seen this. I feel like it does not disappoint, but I also feel like I like the first one more. But when I say that, it's like, again, it's like a 90 out of 100 versus an 89 out of 100. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, this is a steep fall off like It or something like that. I think it was just one of those, like, I just like the first one a little bit more. That being said, I feel like there are scenes in the second one where I'm just like, that is so incredibly well done. So I'm really looking forward to that. What do I want in the next one? I'd love to love the fight scenes more than I did in this one. I'm not trying to harp on the fight scenes. It's just, that was the one thing where I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to go back to the bar and talk to the Japanese man. Like, that was more my speed. And I think you do get, I think if I remember correctly, the fight with Bud is a bit more like that. Like, it is a bit more like dramatic flair than all out ridiculousness. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's not even a fight with Bud. Maybe it's just in the trailer. But whatever that scene is in the desert, I feel like it is very satisfying. And I can't wait to get back into it. What about you, Will?
What am I looking to get out of it? The title of the film. I think I hope they kill Bill. Otherwise, the whole title is travesty. But that said, I think I've only seen the second movie once. I've seen this one multiple times. I've only seen the second one once. Maybe because it does give the closure of the movie, I didn't feel the need to go back to it. Not saying that I enjoyed it less. We'll have to watch and see. And that being said, again, I can't out of the top of my head just like recall the music and the scenes like I can in this one. But when I watch it, it could just come flooding back. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And I'm hoping it does.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just hoping for some continuity. I want to see how this all plays out. I want to remember, which order things happen in and how they finish, because I know I've seen Volume 2, can't remember anything about it. So, very curious. I'd love some more Hanzo. That sequence when he bestows the sword to her, and all the build up to it. Her from the moment she walks into his sushi joint to the time that she takes the sword and leaves is just phenomenal. Probably my favorite part of the film. I just enjoy that whole sequence from start to finish so much in every way. She walks upstairs and sees those beautiful swords on the walls, the music, the ambiance of her and everything. And then she has the conversation with him, and he's never going to make another sword again. It's been 28 years and he's sworn to God he'd never create an instrument of death. And then she says it's to kill Bill, and he says it'll be a month. Why don't you start practicing? And I'm just, oh God, it's so good. So good.
Even so, one of the things I remember not loving in 2003 is like, she's like, oh, I'm going to use it against like your student or something like that. And he goes up to the glass and he writes Bill's name in the glass. And it drags just the tiniest little bit, or it did for me in the past. And I think I got it this time where it's like, he can't even be brought to say his name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has to just write it down. And then she walks up and she snuffs him out. And then she takes that little bit and even snuffs out just the tiniest little bit more, just like nothing left of them. And I'm like,
so perfect.
Oh, damn it. I like that a lot more in 2025 than I did in 2003. Like, yay, I'm learning. I'm growing.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that too. Sonny Chiba was the actor who played Hanzo, and he actually played Hanzo in a TV show in the 80s called Shadow of Warriors. So Tarantino sought him out to play the role in this because he saw him in that, 30 years ago, which I thought that's really cool. And again, it says a lot about Tarantino and how much he knows about the movies he loves, right? Yeah. And the TV and the industry that he loves. You can't hold that against him at all. Like, there's hard to find mistakes in those kind of areas. Yeah. And then a big shout out, I can't remember her first name. Bell is her last name, is the stunt double for Uma. She actually chops that baseball in half in that scene. Yeah, they did that.
Wow.
Actually did that. And very, very good. I mean, I was ragging on the fight scenes a little bit, but that stunt double did some amazing stunt work in this movie. Nice. By all means.
Very cool. Shall we get to rating this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we are way after our regular time. You know what? I forgot to do I can add it in the other one. All right. I'm going to do a quick little plug for Radique Audio, and then we can move to Patreon and do our regular thing. I forgot to mention it earlier. I did mention it before we went live or before we started recording. But this episode is brought to us by Radique Audio. Radique Audio has reached out to me a couple of times, actually. They seem very nice over there. They're a little company out of Ottawa, Ontario. And the thing that they're plugging at the moment is the RA Twin 2. Now, Radique Audio generally deals with vintage stereo equipment, but this is a new piece of technology that they've actually created themselves and they're selling on the market. And what it is it's a little Bluetooth adapter, so you can use it for transmitting or receiving. So if you want to use it to send, I'm flubbing this hard. If you want to use it to send audio recordings from your TV to your headphones, which is what I use it for, so that I can listen to my movies as loud as I want and not be disturbed or disturb other people in the house, it's great for that. It's also really good if you've got an older stereo setup or maybe a car that doesn't have a new stereo, and you can transmit from your phone directly to that, so you can still listen through your expensive speakers. It works in that way. And with a memory card, it works as an MP3 player, so if you want to take it jogging or skiing or something like that, it works really well for that. All three of those options in one little device that costs $40 Canadian is not bad. Obviously, it'll be cheaper in America. And if you want to go to radiqueaudio.com and use combo code Monguli, coupon code Monguli. That's why it sounded so weird. You'll actually get $10 off Canadian on the device, which is really, really cool. If you don't really care about the device, but you are interested in vintage audio, you can use the code WINTER10 to get 10% off of, I said it earlier. It is Vintage Receivers, I believe it is 10% off for the month of January. So if you're interested, you want to go check that out, you can do that from now till January 31st. Go check them out. !Radique !Audio in my chat will bring up the link, or you can head to radiqueaudio.com and go look at that. My apologies, that was pretty brutal, but it'll be replaced in the main one anyways, so whee!
All
right. If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. There's a link down below. Shout out to our producers, as well as our executive producers, including Real Bubba Hotep and Dino, and our writers, Elder JM 990 and Miss Hillary. They're going to be working together to try and figure out what we're going to watch for Patreon pick this month. Looking forward to it. This is our second month ever having two head writers. We had It's Hugh and Elder JM in October after the anniversary, so I'm very curious what Miss Hillary and him come up with.
And thank you guys for the support. Love it. Absolutely love seeing people come into the to the Discord channel. Even if you can't support us, log into that Discord channel and you can come in at the opening level and chat with us a bit. See what you think.
Nice. All right, Brian, I leave it up to you.
Okay, we've just kind of been oogling this movie from start to finish. It's hard to find anything that's really bad about it. Everything about it is great. I wouldn't consider myself a huge Tarantino fan, but after watching this, it's been a while. I kind of want to go back through his catalog and check some things out. This movie kind of surprised me, coming in real high. I may need to think about adjusting my top 20 list. I'm giving this movie a 96. It's really well made, and there are very few things done wrong. There's nothing done wrong. There's just a few things that maybe could be tweaked to be a little bit better, and I don't even mind at all. So this movie comes in real high for me, and I was actually surprised by that number after going through my list of stuff and doing all my calculations, but that's where it is.
Very nice. All right. I think that's way too high. I'm going to have a lower score, unfortunately. I'm kidding. Sorry. Okay. I have a very similar viewpoint where I was a little surprised by how much I love this one. As I mentioned, I watched this when it first came out. I really enjoyed it. I tried watching it like a decade ago. We didn't finish it. I don't remember 100% why, but I think that put a sour taste in my mouth. Watching this again the other day, I was blown away by how quickly it moves. I was blown away by how much I was enjoying it. I was blown away by all the sound and like how much each one of them brought me right back into the scene, brought me right back into the movie. And it flew by. For this movie being, I think it's just under 2 hours, it didn't feel that length at all. Like I knew that the Oranishi scene was the last scene. So when we got there, I was kind of like, okay, this makes sense that it's the end. But I was also kind of looking at my watch, like, how are we done already? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't necessarily have the pacing issues that Will was mentioning. I think this movie flies by. Almost every scene is absolutely electric. The music, top notch. The acting, top notch. There's no character that I can point to be like, oh, it would have been better if they maybe replaced them, or maybe they weren't quite as good as I was hoping they would be. The action, again, is maybe the low point, and it's still an incredibly high point. Like, the action would be a high point in most other movies. It's just that everything else in this is so incredible that it looks low by comparison. I don't know if that made any sense, but it makes sense to me. This is coming in at a 94 for me. I loved it. I loved it way more than I thought I was going to. I think you're muted, sir.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. Didn't want to interrupt the other ratings while I was gasping in disbelief. No. Although I am coming in on the lowest on this movie. I don't know. Maybe it's the genre for me. I don't know if it quite holds up because Quentin Tarantino isn't an action movie. Not in the same way. He's more of like a crime movie guy. And this is a crime movie, but I feel like it really hones in on action. But it's more a tribute to the great action movies of the past than a great action movie itself. And so while everything else is like top marks, I feel like the genre itself is why it dips for me personally. That being said, I love this movie. I really enjoy it. I really can't. We tried to pick it apart and we had trouble doing that. It's very stylized. It pays homage to so many movies. I've read different articles up to like 36, up to like 50 different movies that, and you know, some of those are like, oh, this could be in reference to this, but it's not direct. In direct reference, there's probably at least a dozen movies that you can really see in this movie. And that's okay with me. I actually quite like that about Tarantino. So in all the other categories, this really held up really well. Overall, it's an 86 out of 100, not quite hitting that 90 mark for me. And maybe it's because the movie got broken into two. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing The Whole Bloody Affair to see if that fixes some of my issues with this installment. But we'll have to wait and see.
Very nice.
Sorry, I did not expect to be the highest one.
Sorry, 86.
Coming in at 96. I don't know how you didn't expect to be the highest one.
I didn't expect to get in the 90s, and I did all the math, and I had to double check. I was like, did I divide by 6 or something? What's going on?
Yeah, and that's why it's my genre specific category that actually dipped this one for me, because I think there's better action movies. But this does other things so well that it still is like got top marks in a lot of other categories.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying I'm going to say something that you should probably cut out of the video here.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I usually put this section out anyways. So
I'm going to admit this. I'm not super all for Uma Thurman. Like, a lot of people are like, she's the most hottest woman ever. And she's very attractive female, no doubt. But she doesn't get me going like a lot of people do. Everybody's like, oh my goodness, did you see her in Kill Bill and the yellow leather and everything? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But what about it? I don't know.
She did more for me on this viewing than I remember her doing for me on previous viewings. But I would agree with you. She's not like my top 10 or whatever. And this gets gross quick, but like, I'm just being honest. Like, right? Like, you don't want to sit here and like rank women or anything, but like,
yeah, no, let's get a couple more guys in here ironically, see what they think.
Funny you should mention that. We've actually got a special guest here. We've got Justin, aka Zero Justice, joining us for a minute. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing very, very well. I have wanted to do this for quite some time. Just kind of bring on a guest at the end of the episode for like 2-5 minutes, hear what they have to say. You've been super active in the comments section. I know we were talking about this movie a couple of weeks ago, so I would love to hear what you have to say about Kill Bill. The floor is all yours.
Hopefully,
Also,
my microphone
introduce
sounds
yourself.
better. Hi, I'm Justin. My internet name is ZeroJustice21, and I am a pretty big fan of Quentin Tarantino in general. It's funny enough because as much as I love Kill Bill, especially Volume 1, I think it is stronger than Volume 2, but I also have it's like the rose-colored lenses because I've never watched them back to back. I watched 1 and then like 2 years later I watched 2 thinking that it was going to be more of what 1 was. I didn't go in with it with the idea that it's a continuation of the same movie. I went in it with, I'm looking for more of what Volume 1 was, and that's not what it is. So now that I have that mentality, I really do want to watch Volume 2 again with the different mindset, and I think my opinion will be different. But even with that being said, as much as I love Kill Bill Volume 1, it is probably number 3 or 4 for Quentin Tarantino films in general, which is saying a lot because Volume 1's fantastic. Some of the highlighted points that I make, I'm really big when it comes to music in movies. That's one of my biggest go-to things. The audio for me can make or break a movie. It can make it from a 10 out of 10 to a 1 out of 10. The setup scene with Orenichi, with the Queen of the Crime Council, when she's going about everything, is just fantastic. Then you have the 5, 6, 7, 8s doing woohoo. You have Bang Bang from Nancy Sinatra. You have Battle Without Honor or Humanity. You have the Green Hornet theme. You have Twisted Nerve with the whistling. It's like, I have this soundtrack on CD still. Like, that's how awesome the entire soundtrack was for me personally. And I just rewatched. I actually for the first time because I never knew that they did that scene in color. I sent it over to Dan already, but the scene of the Crazy 88s versus the Bride, Black Mamba, and seeing it in color with the unedited version, it completely changes it. I love it even more now. So that might change my overall thoughts on it, but. Yeah, that's where I stand on this movie. It's a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely would.
Nice. Yeah, he sent me that in Discord, and it's definitely something I'll be checking out like the second I'm not live. I'm very much looking forward to it. You said this is your number 3 Quentin Tarantino. Do you know off the top of your head what goes before it?
My number 1, my 1 and 2, and it's all depending on what mood I'm in, is Inglourious Bastards and Reservoir Dogs. Those movies are just, in my opinion, they're as close to perfect films as you can get from how much they hook you, and for completely different reasons. Like, you have Inglourious Bastards, historical movie, obviously parodied in a lot of ways, but it's set in that historical time frame, and they do a lot of things that are relevant to that. Christoph Waltz also, like, I fell in love with him because of that movie.
So good.
And you have that, and then you have Reservoir. It takes place in one. I know technically 2, because you have the diner scene beforehand, but like, it takes place in one room. And
mostly, you do have a couple of flashback scenes that are in other places.
But I'm saying like the actual like movie takes place in a room.
Yeah.
And you're on the edge of your seat the whole time watching, waiting to see what happens next. It's incredible. I love how they did it.
Yeah, it could absolutely be a stage play, and you could just
100%.
trim out those other scenes, or like have one set for the diner, and then trim out the other scene where you find that the guy's a cop, pretty much, and you'd be basically fine.
You could have like a narrator do like almost like a monologue to the crowd about how he's a cop, and there you go, you're done. It's like that summarizes the whole thing real quick.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate that. I'd love to, again, get a few more guests like this out. Just have some people come on for a couple of minutes, tell us why they love the movie or why they don't love the movie, and get their overall takes on it. So thank you very much. Again, where can people find you?
YouTube, Twitch, ZeroJustice21. Easy as that.
Very nice.
Trying to be on more and more with everything.
Perfect.
Trying to help
Thanks,
out certain
Justin.
people get some items that they need for
Yeah,
for
Zero Justice
expeditions.
is crushing Arc Raiders. If we go watch him, he's a great player. Great player. I don't. No reason why I'd say that other than
No reason. No reason.
I've seen his abilities in action. Okay.
Very cool. All right, Justin. Have a great night.
Have a good one, guys.
Cheers.
That worked out as perfectly as I was hoping it would. Now let's bring on more. No. All right. So let's jump over here and we can see our final score. Will, I apologize. You did say 86, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
We'll replace this with. And with that, we have Kill Bill coming in at the top spot. Now, we've seen it happen before where a movie will come in super hot and then the sequel will kind of bring it down, or maybe the next three will really bring it down. It'll fall pretty hard. I don't know that I see that happening. I think there's a decent chance that Kill Bill is going to take that top spot. It would have to drop a lot to get below the Dollars trilogy. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that might be accurate? Are you okay with that?
Go ahead,
Go
Will.
ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say something stupid. So you say
Oh.
something that's actually good.
That's why you're here.
I before I rewatched this the other night, I would have said, sure, it'll be high someplace, but whatever. After watching it, I thought, man, this is probably going to take the top spot. And if Volume 2 is as good, obviously it'll stay up there. I'm hoping it is as good. I don't mind. We have a lot of great franchises on here. Kill Bill is one of those franchises that it's swinging for the fences, right? And I'm hoping we get more of these as we grow a little more sure of ourselves and our ability to critique these films and dive into them. I'm hoping we start tackling some more that really just jump to the top of this list like Kill Bill did.
It's also easier because it is only 2. Or maybe it has a better shot of landing.
Yeah, that's true. And made as one movie too. So it's almost like
it's almost a cheat.
It's almost a cheat.
I said we're going to get flooded in the comments section. People just being like, that's not a franchise. That can't be the top of the list. Take it down. Burning our whole channel up just like that. That's what's going to happen. That's
if we can get a lot of people coming in and yelling at us, at least it's a lot of people coming in. I'll freaking take it at this point. Rage bait the internet. Whatever we got to do.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah, it makes sense to me that it's going to be up there high and it's going to stay high, right? Same thing with the Dollar Trilogy. There's a reason it's really high. It was 3 good movies. Was it a franchise? I don't know. But it has been deemed one over time, so it's fine. And when you have less but quality throughout, it's going to stay higher than a lot of these 9 movie epic franchises that dip and dive all over the place.
It is kind of funny that our top 2 movies, or top 2 franchises, are both potentially cheats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes in the long run, but whatever. Here we are.
Come at me, YouTube. Come at me.
There's also only so many 9 movie epics I really want to do. Every now and then it's like, no, let's do some art for a change. See what that looks like.
100%. What about you, Dan? What about you? You didn't really say what your thoughts were on placement.
Oh, I started. I think there's a really solid chance that this is going to be the top movie and potentially the top movie for quite some time. Franchise, I should say, not movie.
Yeah. Rightfully so, though. Rightfully.
I mean, well, okay. So again, if we go back, like, there's a lot of solid movie franchises on here that don't make it all that high. Like, we've got one. I don't know about the American system, but we've got 1A on the list until tonight. Now we've got our second one finally.
Right.
That's a lot. Like, we've been doing this for a year and a half, and we've got 1A. Like, it's just like, even if we find a franchise that like is got a really solid first movie, usually they fall down. Or maybe we have a franchise that one of us absolutely loves. I'm looking at like Evil Dead, where you guys really are high on that one, and I'm just not.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a franchise that is quality all the way through, that all 3 of us are going to agree on. And again, like, Kill Bill has that huge advantage of only being 2 movies.
Yeah.
So I could see this being very high. Maybe not 92 high, but I can see this being very high, and I can see this being the top for a hot minute.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
That 28 trilogy, 28
Years.
franchise is coming in pretty high there. I just saw the preview for the next installment, and I was like, whoa, that feels like a hard left turn from what we just saw, featuring the same characters or some of the same characters, but then you introduce some of the newer characters or characters seen at the very end of the film.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I saw that ad, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to make this franchise go up or down. It could really go. I don't know, but I am kind of curious to get into the bone. What the bone? 28 years, the Bone Yard or something. I don't know.
The Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple. That's
Yard.
Yeah. Here, let me sign this off, and we can
Yeah, that's
keep
good.
chatting. All right, that is our excuse me. All right, that's our rating of Kill Bill Volume 1, but what's yours? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. We record this live over at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So head over there and hit the follow button so we can interact with you live. Or if you enjoyed the video, you made it this far, you probably did, hit like and subscribe so that we see you in the next one. Yes, I say all right all the time. I can't seem to get away from it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Bone. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have when does that come out? That comes out in January, does it not?
Yeah, I think later this month or the end of this month, maybe.
So is that one we're gonna try and do relatively quickly, or just sit on it? Like
in theory.
we've got
we should-
Kill Bill 1 and 2.
I enjoyed the 28 years later enough. I wouldn't mind going and seeing that in theaters.
Okay.
It was kind of funny.
Which is funny because I think you were the lowest on it.
Yeah, we had the question in Discord a while ago, like, what was all the movies you saw in 2025? And like, I literally just said, hey, what were the top 25 blockbusters of 2025? Because I know I'm not going to see anything less than that. And then I went down that list and checked off which ones I saw in theaters. And I was like, I went and saw like 5 movies. Was all I went and saw in theaters. So, I don't mind going back, getting out of the house a little bit more.
January 16th.
I was gonna say it's very quick. I can't seem to bring up a
It's next Friday.
calendar quick enough. Okay, so we could do we're gonna do Kill Bill next week, and we could do the Bone Temple the week after that, and then the Patreon pick, and then we're fresh to start into Glass Onion or whatever that's called in February.
Knives Out. Yeah.
Knives Out, thank you. That work for you
Glass
guys?
Onion?
Well, that's the sequel. The sequel is
Yeah.
Glass Onion.
Okay. I hadn't heard about the sequel. Okay.
I think Brian called me out on the all right thing. I'm not entirely sure. I was like, I'll never do it again. But yeah, Brian's definitely mentioned it a couple times. Chat now doesn't let it go.
A little bit. That's one of those things I used to work on. Now I just don't care. I'll wait till I'm editing YouTube videos again to work on all my stupid things because
you'll hear it, right? Yeah.
I say uhs and ums all the time again. I've fallen back into that bad habit, and it's something I need to work on, but I'm not going to right now.
Totally.
It's one of the nice things about editing these videos. You can take out those like awkward pauses when you can tell all three of us are just like, who's going to talk next? Or like, what are we talking about next? You know what I mean? It's just like, let's just get rid of that. And like, yeah, just save yourself like 20 seconds of audience dead time. Or save the audience 20 seconds of dead air. Okay. It is later than I thought.
We ran a little late on that one, right? We normally try to wrap up between 9 and 9:30, and we hit 10 after 10 on my end, and you guys are even later.
I was gonna say we usually
started late too. Though.
Yeah, at your time, I guess that makes sense. We usually start at 9. We didn't start till like 9:45 or something, so it makes sense that it was a later one. But I do have to get up in the morning, so I'm probably gonna call it. Are you guys good to stick around for like 2 minutes? Off air?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Sure.
All right, then I'm gonna raid out. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. I like these Thursday night pick me ups. It is something I legit look forward to, even on days like today where I didn't have the greatest day, and it's been a long day, and it's gonna be a long week, and it was just like. Oh, I don't know. Life just gets at you sometimes, but it was still that like I'm looking forward to getting together with the guys, getting together with the audience, and
chatting about a movie.
Having a blast talking about movies. And it helps that it was a good movie. Like there are times, especially where we just rag on a movie for an hour and a half, and I'm just like, it's fun still, but it's a little bit draining. But doing something like this, where we're just like, no, this is a legit good movie. We're all on the same page. I have no complaints.
No complaints. Thanks, chat, as usual. Appreciate you.
Who can we?
I'm sending a raid off to some rando doing talk shows and podcasts. So have fun over there. I was going to try and raid Dan, but now he's leaving. So that's it. Thanks for joining me on my stream. And I will, I'm going to try and stream tomorrow. I don't know what, but I'm going to try and stream something tomorrow because I miss getting back in the studio. I've been working a bunch lately. So we'll see you guys. Bye.
Nice. All right.
And yes, thank you, Zero Justice 21, for jumping in and giving us a little highlight of what you thought of Kill Bill as well. It's always good to hear from people.
Absolutely. If you guys want to be on the show in the future, if there's a movie coming up that you know you're a big fan of, reach out to me on the Discord. I'd love to hear from you. I will say, please have a decent mic and camera. But other than that, if you have something you want to say, get off your chest, reach out, and we'll see what we can do. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.